Hey, Steelers fans! You won't believe what's going on behind the scenes at the team. This Sunday, we have an unmissable matchup in Pittsburgh. The former Steelers player, now wearing a new jersey, is ready to face his old team, and some comments from Coach Mike Tomlin have already made the air even more tense. In addition, within the Steelers squad, a player revealed the weight of responsibility of maintaining one of the most impressive streaks in the NFL, and what he said shocked everyone. So don't miss a single detail and leave your like to support the channel. Alright, so here's a juicy AFC North showdown brewing. Diontae Johnson is set to face off against his former squad, the Steelers, now suited up for the Ravens. This Sunday, when the 7-3 Ravens take on the 7-2 Steelers at Acrisure Stadium, it'll be Johnson's first game against Pittsburgh since they sent him packing to the Panthers, only for him to end up in Baltimore a few weeks ago. Head coach Mike Tomlin might have thrown a little shade too when he downplayed Johnson's role in his game plan, saying the Ravens have more significant pieces to worry about. Johnson, though, isn't getting sucked into the drama. He took the high road, reminiscing about his time in Pittsburgh. "Man, I had a great career there, loved it. Great city, great people. I know what they're about," Johnson told the Ravens website. He's excited to return to his old stomping grounds, but now he's rocking Baltimore purple. The Steelers drafted Johnson back in 2019, and he spent 4 seasons making plays and sometimes headlines there. But by the end of 2023, both sides were ready to move on, and he was shipped off to Carolina before this year's draft. That experiment with the Panthers didn't last long. After half a season, Johnson was released, and the Ravens scooped him up in October. Johnson's time in Pittsburgh wasn't always smooth, with some labeling him as a bit of a diva. But despite the split, he says he's still tight with a bunch of his former teammates. "I'm ready to get back there just to see the good people that I made relationships with," he said. Still, he's got his eyes on the prize. "Other than that, it's a big moment for me." Since joining Baltimore, Johnson's impact has been minimal. Just 1 catch for 6 yards in his first 2 games. But fellow receiver Rashad Bateman hinted that the team is excited to see what he'll add. And with Sunday being his revenge game, you'd have to imagine the Ravens will give him a couple of extra looks. Johnson seems eager but cautious, saying, "They're working me in there slowly. Whenever they call my number, I'm going to do my thing." What did you think of Tomlin's comments? Did you think they were fair, or were they provocative? Leave a comment below. And don't worry, there's news about tradition and pressure within the Steelers' own roster that will surprise you. Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth has a unique kind of motivation. He can't imagine being part of a team that breaks Coach Mike Tomlin's epic streak of never having a losing season. On the Goat Farm show, Freiermuth shared what it felt like to play under that pressure, especially during the 2022 season, when Pittsburgh started a rough 2-6. "I take a lot of pride in it," he said. "In my mind, I was like, I can't be part of the first team that loses." That 2022 season tested the Steelers in every way possible. It was their first season without Ben Roethlisberger since 2003, and quarterback uncertainty added to the chaos. Mitch Trubisky struggled early on, and rookie Kenny Pickett had to learn the ropes fast. The season looked lost when TJ Watt went down after week 1, but Tomlin kept the team afloat, rallying them to a 9-8 finish and nearly making the playoffs. Pittsburgh entered the last week still fighting for a wild card spot, though they ultimately needed a Jets win over the Dolphins that didn't materialize. Tomlin's culture of resilience is undeniable, and his players feel it. Freiermuth captured the pride and pressure Steelers players carry with a legacy coach like Tomlin at the helm. Even with a depleted roster and a tough AFC North, Tomlin kept them in the hunt, dodging that first losing season by a hair. It's clear that his leadership has carved a mentality that runs deep in the locker room, a drive to never be that team that breaks his winning record. Fast forward to 2024, and the Steelers are miles away from a 2-6 start. They're leading the AFC North at 7-2, and they'll face the Ravens in a big Week 11 divisional clash. This season, they aren't climbing out of a hole. They're gunning to stay on top of a highly competitive AFC. But with games left against division rivals, this hot start will need serious follow-through if they want to stay in the race. Tomlin's squad may look like a contender, but they'll have to prove it down the stretch. Johnson's reunion with Pittsburgh is sure to be exciting, but the Steelers' focus is on continuing their tradition of not having a losing season under Tomlin. Freiermuth and company know that any slip-up could cost them dearly in this final stretch. Let's see if they can stay on top, so subscribe so you don't miss anything about your team, because the AFC North is on fire.